Good afternoon, and we're coming on the air because of an awful scene playing out today in Texas. An active shooter for a time at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. This is about 80 miles outside of San Antonio. There is word potentially multiple children have been killed. This happened at the Robb Elementary School in the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District. The alleged gunman opening fire off campus, then reportedly running into the school, barricading himself in a classroom where it's believed the shooting continued, the school on lockdown. Uvalde Memorial Hospital confirming at this hour 13 children arriving at the ER. That hospital also confirming to ABC News at least 2 children killed. But sources telling us at this hour this number could be far worse. I want to bring in investigative reporter Aaron Katersky as we look at aerials coming in from the scene. Again, Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. This is about 80 miles or so, perhaps a little longer the distance, but outside San Antonio, Texas. Reports that some have been brought to San Antonio as well. And again, one hospital already confirming 2 children dead. And Aaron, we're learning from sources at this hour that this is sadly going to likely be much worse here.
It does seem that way, David. Multiple law enforcement sources tell ABC News that potentially 14 people have been killed in this shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. That does include the suspect, we're told from multiple law enforcement sources, an 18-year-old suspected shooter killed as this shooting scene unfolded. Law enforcement sources have been trying to nail down specifically the numbers that they're working with. It is still an active scene, as you can see there. So many people gathered around to try and figure out what happened, taping off the areas that were the scene of this shooting. But multiple law enforcement sources tell ABC News, David, that potentially as many as 14 people, including a number of children, have been killed today at the school.
All right, folks. I usually don't do these type of videos just because it's not the main focus of the channel. We're here to talk about finance, money, investing, in those kind of topics. But this is something that is kind of close to my heart because first of all, I live in Houston, Texas. And for those of you who have been following me here for quite some time now know that as well. So it happened right, around the corner here. This is something that happened in San Antonio, and it happened right away when my kids were coming back from school. So I have 2 kids, 5 years old and 2 years old. And when I got a notification on my phone, I didn't know all the details, but when I started digging a little bit, I find out, wow, 13 children. 13 children killed in an elementary school, which I believe goes from, maybe pre-K to 4th grade. It's a small city, 15,000 people in max, 80 miles maybe, away from San Antonio. So it breaks my heart, man, because I couldn't imagine if this is something that happened right here in Houston and if my kids were part of this group. So I just wanted to make this video to kind of open up a discussion here because I've traveled a lot, and something that comes back a lot from on one of the concern of certain people about lifestyle, or life in America, in the US, is about, guns. So nothing really political here, it's not about politics because people are dying, no later than 2 weeks ago, something similar happened in Buffalo, around New York. Even if it's more kind of, racism driven, still people died, a huge amount of people died that day. And right now it's even, I don't want to say, it's, yeah, we're talking about kids, man, kids and a teacher who this morning when, get out of the house and knew that they were expected to be back, at this time. But It's not going to be the case. So, um, what do you think should, the administration take action here? Do we need to have, more controls around, guns? Because the guy is 18. We're talking about an 18 years old having heavy weapon and taking 13 more lives and getting killed in the process. I heard somewhere that he also, shot at his grandmother before leaving the house. So, do you feel like this is something that needs to be more controlled in terms of getting access to guns? I know there's already a lot being done in terms of background checks and everything. It's not as easy to get in a weapon right now. I mean, today that it was just 2 years ago, or even 3 years ago. Still, it doesn't change the fact that we are still having such tragedies around the country, around the nation. I know it may not have something to do with money, and it doesn't at first. But the thing is, if you can't be safe or feel safe, well, it might play something in your mind, something in your psyche, something in your your soul, not to be aggressively chasing your money goals. Why? Because you're like, okay, why do I need to do all this? Why do I need to invest in the market? Why do I need to save money? Why do I need to try to get financially free if I can't even enjoy the money I'm trying to make? So, yeah, I mean, just let me know, people, in the comment section, and I will end the discussion here, because I just wanted to pour my heart out there for all the families that are affected, all the parents like me who will never see the kids again because of what just happened. And it's tough, man. It's tough. So, yeah, let me know, guys, in the comment section.